I'm Nadia Freund, founder of Nadia Beauty Nail Academy. So you asked me why was that nail that I just showed a couple days ago with from underneath with the macro camera, why is it so thick? Well, first, it is a macro camera, and second, we look from underneath on that nail. Let me explain you how did that happen and why does it look so thick eventually. So first of all, it was a refill. So the client came after about 3 weeks. So her nail was grown out and of course growing down because her curvature of the natural nail is there. So the nail was going probably almost like this. Well, with the apex here a little bit somewhere closer here. So eventually nail like that. And when she comes, first of all, I remove all the lifting, and then I take new product and restructure it. First of all, I'm going from the cuticle in the apex. Well, probably not as curved, but something like that. So before I file the nail completely from underneath, so I file first everything, the structure, and then I'll file from underneath to keep the lower arch, to make sure that the lower arch is there, that is not going down and it's not going too high up, to keep all these nails almost symmetrical. Well, not symmetrical, almost even, but usually the pointer I file a little bit up and the ring finger I file the straightest. So because the next week the pointer will grow a little bit more straight, so all the lower arches in the second week will be still even. So here I shortened the nail. So if we have a nail, if you made it correct, the first, even after you applied the form, so when this is a natural nail and you have your form even straight, I'm not talking about bringing your form up or bringing your form down. Anyhow, let me make it blue. So this will be our form, just like that, right, with the lines like this. So when you apply the product, your nail on the end will be straight, thin. But as soon as you start to cut it like this, so this is the cut of the product, it will be thicker. So thicker and thicker, and eventually at the stress point, it will be about 1.5 millimeters, depending again on the nail. So 1.5 millimeters flat cut is a lot. So imagine after 3 weeks, it grew out. So after 3 weeks, the stress point that was 1.5 millimeters is about here, because that's how much the nail grew out. So here, the nail, before I filed it down and before I applied the product, was already 1.5 millimeters thick. But because this nail grows a little bit down and I file it flat from underneath, this 1.5 millimeters are about here, 1.5 millimeters. And once you file it straight, flat from underneath, that is the thickness of the free edge from looking from underneath. So before I filed the nail completely down, when I applied the product, when I restructured the nail, before I filed it also from underneath to rebalance it, it is very, very thick looking nail from underneath. But because I filed the nail flat, the lower arch parallel to the center line of the finger, this nail looking from the front will be already very thin. But because it's still so heavy from underneath and so much product that we need to rebalance it. So we need to take off the product, plus we need to take that grown out natural nail, because as you could see in that macro camera shot, the natural nail starts to curl down a little bit and get released from the artificial product. And the dirt, the bacteria and the air goes in there. And eventually it can cause the pocket lifting, like through underneath, going into the nail. So when you make a refill, you just file the outside around the cuticle, put the new product in, but you don't see that in the center the nail is already lifted. And it will cause the breakage, or just the whole nail will pop off. And that's why your clients are unhappy. So you either have to check every time, well, you have to check it anyways, but is there any pocket lifting? Is there any white spot while you're filing the nail down? Doing refill? Plus, removing the natural nail from underneath will help to seal it back. Also, when I'm doing a natural nail overlay, let's see, when this is a natural nail, and I applied some product to make an overlay, like this, I still take just a basic carbide, bit that you use to remove the product essentially. It can be ceramic or the carbide, just a basic barrel or cone. I usually use cone. And just touch up from the edge, just little zoom, and that little zoom will seal the natural nail into the artificial product. You will not remove the whole length, but it will help the natural nail being thin just get touched and stay there. It will not have enough strength to curl down. So I always seal the nail, the grown out nail, into the product, and it helps with the lifting from underneath, the pocket lifting. So I hope I answered your question. If you have more questions, please ask, and I will make a video just like that, or make some posts. And the best questions that will end up into the video will receive a present from me. So that's a way to get something. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my online classes at nadiabeauty.com.